Tonight's headlines. U.S. lobbies hard for new war resolution. France and Russia vow vetoes. Pentagon plans test of huge new bomb. Soaring gasoline prices. Is gouging to blame? Also tonight, before a war even starts, U.S. forces are under attack by nature. Eye on America investigates a rash of military training accidents and allegations of a cover-up. And a new drug that could protect the millions of people dangerously allergic to peanuts.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. President Bush spent much of this day on the phone trying to line up support for a new UN Security Council resolution that would in effect authorize war against Iraq if Saddam Hussein does not disarm by next Monday. With France and Russia now threatening to veto the resolution, the White House signaled the president is willing to compromise, at least on the deadline. His spokesman saying things are, quote, fluid. In any case, a vote some expected as soon as tomorrow likely won't come now until at least later in the week. CBS's Bill Plant begins tonight's coverage of the showdown with Saddam. Bill?
Dan, this negotiation is intense. The undecided nations are now talking about extending Iraq's deadline another month. Washington and London today signaled their willingness to extend next Monday's cutoff, but only by a bit. And they've had to put off the vote that would set that deadline now until Wednesday at the earliest. President Bush made a series of urgent phone calls to world leaders, making the argument that if the UN fails to act in Iraq, it will be walking away from a moral responsibility.
In the event hostilities ensue and the Iraqi people are freed from the cloak of a brutal dictatorship that tortures, that kills, people of Iraq will know who to thank. That'll be a moral issue.
French President Chirac, the most determined opponent of authorizing war, seemed to kill any chance the U.S.-British deadline would pass, saying his country, which has veto power, would vote against any resolution leading to war, no matter what. Russia, also a veto-bearing member, said it too would vote no, also voting against China, Germany, and Syria. At this point, only the U.S., Britain, Spain, and Bulgaria are committed to vote for the resolution. Both the U.S. and France are aggressively courting the 6 undecided nations on the Council. Secretary of State Powell meeting with the Foreign Minister of Guinea, French Foreign Minister de Villepin traveling to Angola. U.S. officials also criticized Chief UN Weapons Inspector Hans Blix, suggesting that he should have told the Council in public last week about 2 findings by his team. One is a cluster bomb apparently modified to disperse chemical weapons. The other, a pilotless plane fitted with tanks modified to spray chemical or biological agents.
It was information that was available last week, should be of concern to everyone.
The sense of urgency over Iraq, which Mr. Bush tried to convey in his news conference, is reflected in a new CBS News New York Times poll conducted over the weekend. Support for taking military action soon has risen by 9 points since last week, though a majority still favors giving UN inspectors more time. Half the nation now sees Iraq as an immediate threat to the U.S., one which requires military action. But a majority would be more comfortable if the administration took the allies' views into account. And that's one reason the president is bending over backward to get the 9 votes it would take to pass a resolution. That way, even if there's a veto, the U.S. will claim a moral victory. Dan?
Bill Plant reporting live from the White House. That CBS News New York Times poll Bill mentioned finds Americans losing patience with the United Nations. 58% now say the UN is doing a poor job of handling Iraq. That is up 10 points in the past month. As for the impact of a war with Iraq, 40% of Americans believe it will hurt the U.S. economy. 55% believe it will lead to more terror attacks against the United States. If and when the president gives the final order for war, it will begin with an intensive bombardment, followed quickly by large-scale ground and airborne assaults involving tens of thousands of troops. And as CBS's David Martin reports, U.S. forces expect to have at their disposal a new bomb, one of the most powerful weapons ever built.
With the days counting down, the Pentagon is planning to conduct the first test of its newest and biggest bomb. At 21,000 pounds, it dwarfs this 13,000-pound monster, which until now had been the biggest weapon in the American arsenal. The test is needed before the weapon, officially called the Massive Ordnance Airburst, can be used in combat. But the plan also calls for videotaping the explosion and, if it works, publicly releasing the video as a means of rattling the Iraqi military. U.S. intelligence is already predicting substantial numbers of Iraqi army troops will surrender as soon as the first shot is fired. Officials hope a successful test of what is unofficially called the mother of all bombs will encourage further surrenders. U.S. aircraft, including this unmanned Predator surveillance drone, are now flying missions virtually round the clock over southern Iraq, among other things to prevent Iraqi jets from flying any reconnaissance missions that could detect American troop movements across the border in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. The U.S. originally had planned on a bombing campaign of 4 or 5 days before the ground war began. But officials now say the invasion by Army and Marine divisions could begin almost at the same time as the air campaign, and that commando raids might actually take place before the bombing starts. The man who would direct all that, General Tommy Franks, left his stateside headquarters this afternoon and is on his way to his forward command post to make final preparations for the final battle with Saddam. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
One Muslim country the White House was hoping would back a showdown with Saddam is Pakistan. It has been an active ally in the war on terror, including the hunt for Osama bin Laden and his al-Qaeda followers. Pakistan currently is on the UN Security Council, but CBS's Elizabeth Palmer reports tonight Pakistan's vote looks doubtful.
The American appeal for Pakistani support at the United Nations has been drowned out by the opposition of angry fundamentalists, furious with America's military pressure on Iraq. To avoid provoking them, Pakistan's government now looks likely either to vote against the U.S. or abstain in the critical Security Council vote. But Pakistan has continued to support the United States on quite another front, the hunt for al-Qaeda. Today, the ultra-secretive Pakistani intelligence agency held its first ever briefing for reporters. The agency announced that the recent arrest of senior al-Qaeda operative Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the alleged mastermind of 9/11, had been carried out by their agents and not the FBI. Thanks to this arrest, they claim Osama bin Laden's days as a fugitive might be numbered. We were months behind him, they say, and then weeks, now hours. That's probably over-optimistic, but sources in the government tell CBS News there are 2 operations currently underway to hunt down bin Laden. Both involve American special forces cooperating with Pakistani trackers in remote border regions. But the uncomfortable truth is that the 3 main al-Qaeda leaders were all arrested in Pakistani cities and inside houses belonging to members of the country's largest religious political party. Pakistan's president may want to be a U.S. ally, but others in the government here are committed to sheltering America's bitterest enemies. Elizabeth Palmer, CBS News, Islamabad.
There were these other developments today in the showdown with Saddam Hussein. Romania expelled 5 Iraqi diplomats for, quote, activities incompatible with their status. The 5 were among 300 Iraqis in 60 countries the U.S. identified last week as spies. In Egypt, a research center for the Sunni branch of Islam issued a call to arms. It declared that if the U.S. invades Iraq, jihad, or holy struggle, becomes, quote, a duty on every male and female Muslim. One consequence of delay in the desert is the onslaught of the sandstorm season. It's underway now. U.S. troops have become weather warriors, and CBS's Lee Cowan reports the forecast only gets worse as the sandstorm weeks go by.
Almost daily, this is the stinging reality emerging for U.S. troops in Kuwait. The oldest enemy in the desert, punishing sandstorms, one of the signatures of the Gulf.
We never thought it'd be this bad to where we have to keep goggles on everywhere we walk around to, and we're chewing on sand everywhere we go.
Blinding, disorienting, even painful. Coarse sand is already whipping around the desert at upwards of 50 miles an hour, enough to peel off paint, grinding its way into machinery and weapons. Visibility, say some soldiers, can be like trying to look through mud.
Trying to identify a target out on a battlefield on a day like today is certainly much more problematic.
Oh my God. It's a soldier's will versus the wind, even in the middle of the night, where troops spend sleepless hours literally holding down the fort. The sand has swallowed tents and taken lives. Last month, a Black Hawk helicopter crashed during a sandstorm, killing all 4 on board. and the season has only just begun.
Today looks like one of those special days, so we're just preparing for the worst and hoping for the best.
But the worst may be far more likely. Within weeks, hotter, drier winds called shamals will begin sweeping in from Baghdad at upwards of 80 miles an hour, picking up sand for miles and throwing it thousands of feet in the air.
You can get lost. You can get lost in your base camp.
Even so, the military insists that the worsening weather will not detract from any unit's capabilities. In fact, it may even offer an advantage.
We can still see you and hear you, even in conditions like this when you probably can't see us.
An uncomfortable ally on a battlefield as old as war. Lee Cowan, CBS News, Kuwait.
Even as President Bush prepares to disarm Iraq by force, the White House sharply criticized another country President Bush says is part of an axis of evil, Iraq's neighbor, Iran. It's reported that within 2 years, the Iranian nuclear program may enrich enough uranium to make several bombs a year. The White House called that, quote, a matter of great concern, unquote. As for a third part of what the president calls the axis of evil, North Korea, CBS News has learned the United States is about to resume reconnaissance flights off the North Korean coast protected by warplanes from a Navy carrier. Such flights were suspended last week after North Korean MiGs harassed an Air Force surveillance aircraft over international waters. Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, big oil, raising gasoline prices, and a whole lot of suspicions.
Announcing non-drowsy allergy medicine you can take right when you need it. It's Alavert. New Alavert starts dissolving the instant it touches your tongue without water. So Alavert is non-drowsy relief you can take inside, outside, in your car, wherever you are. Get prescription-strength, non-drowsy, 24-hour relief. Even Claritin can't beat. New quick-dissolving Alavert. Allergy medicine you can take right when you need it, wherever you are.
In this place, I see a lot of gas. I also see a lot of folks taking medicines that don't fight gas. But Gas-X has the most powerful medicine to relieve gas fast. Not that I've seen works faster. Gas-X beats the bloat fast.
Inside every can of Minwax is the secret to enhancing wood's natural beauty. Minwax rich wood stains and long-lasting protective finishes make it easy to turn any house into a beautiful home. Minwax makes and keeps wood beautiful.
Hi, grape nuts, please.
You know, it'd take 4 bowls of grape nuts to equal the B vitamins in just 1 bowl of total.
4 bowls. Dig in, Lumpy.
Special K, please.
That'd take 16 bowls to equal the zinc in total.
16 bowls. Eat up, sweetie.
Shredded wheat?
40 bowls to equal the calcium in total.
40 bowls. Chow down, big boy.
You need Total. It's got 100% daily value of 12 vitamins and minerals. No other cereal comes close.
Total, please.
Total for me.
We're out of bowls.
Total Raisin Bran. What are you getting for breakfast?
Why do so many people trust GMAC Real Estate? It's because our agents offer premier service. A commitment to service that caters to your specific needs. Which means whether you're buying or selling a home, we'll listen to your needs and get you where you want to be. It's no wonder we have an overwhelming 94% customer satisfaction rating. GMAC Real Estate. Service you deserve. People you trust.
How did we get the natural fiber of Metamucil powder into convenient new capsules? Let's just say it wasn't easy. All the benefits of Metamucil now in capsules. Get regular, stay regular, the convenient way.
It's a beautiful morning.
Ask your doctor about Vioxx, a prescription medicine from Merck. And find out if Vioxx is right for you. Vioxx.
The looming war is again getting the blame for rising oil prices and falling stock prices. The Dow fell 171 points today. The Nasdaq lost 26. It is now 75% off the all-time high it hit 3 years ago today. And a key OPEC minister said he doubts the cartel could boost production enough to offset a wartime loss of oil from Iraq and Kuwait. That could push oil and gasoline prices still higher. A U.S. government survey today says gas is up to a nationwide average $1.71 a gallon. CBS's John Blackstone reports Californians are paying a lot more, over $2, and motorists nationwide are getting mighty suspicious.
For some commuters in California this morning, driving had suddenly become too expensive.
It takes me about $100 to gas up my car for the week, so I just take the commuter line.
Across the country, a question now comes with every fill-up. Is there gouging at the gas pump?
We know the gasoline spikes are occurring, that the prices are outrageous.
California's Attorney General Bill Lockyer has been investigating gas prices, though he's found no evidence of price manipulation so far.
No smoking gun, but we all think we heard a shot.
Gas station owner Dennis Dakota says he has no doubt oil companies are manipulating prices, maximizing profits neighborhood to neighborhood with a practice called zone pricing.
Zone pricing is basically a demographic study of the income, the competition in that area, and they determine what they can extract from that given market area.
So Dakota, located in an affluent area, pays a higher wholesale price than another dealer a few miles away.
Same truck, same day, same terminal, same gas.
Different price.
Different price.
Oil companies say zone pricing keeps wholesale prices competitive, but others say competition is disappearing as the companies get bigger. A wave of mergers has brought together the biggest oil companies. In California, the mergers have left just a handful of giants dominating the business, from refineries to the corner gas station.
It's putting the wolf in charge of the hen house. You don't normally let that happen.
Tim Cohalen is suing oil companies, charging they've conspired to raise prices in California. He says drivers elsewhere better brace themselves.
The same pattern and the same types of behaviors, the same refinery closures and cooperative agreements have now spread across the United States.
Oil companies blame high prices on war fears and new pollution rules in California. Government forecasters say the increases aren't over yet. John Blackstone, CBS News, San Francisco.
And ahead on the CBS Evening News, Eye on America investigates. The Army calls it a combat simulator, but soldiers call it unstable and dangerous.
What do I want in a Glade plug-in? Well, it'd be fresh. What about a nightlight? And an extra outlet? Perfect.
Glade plug-in's extra outlet nightlight.
Plug it in. Now that's a bright idea.
The scorching pain of heartburn. The difference you feel only with Gaviscon. It quickly forms a soothing protective barrier that helps keep acid down for hours. For the relief you need, feel the soothing power of Gaviscon.
If you want proof that time flies, look at your kids. They go from toddlers to teens and nothing flat. This is the time to talk to them about staying away from things that can threaten their health, like cigarettes and more, every chance you get. Talk to your kids about not smoking. They'll listen.
There's nothing like a great night's sleep. I can get an early start in the morning and go out and do something just for me. It's a really good feeling.
If you sometimes have trouble sleeping but worry about taking something, try Tylenol PM. It stops your pain and eases you into a restful night's sleep so you can wake up refreshed.
Come on, honey. It's time to get up.
I love my Tylenol PM.
Once upon a time, a dirty floor meant a lot of work. Not anymore, thanks to America's #1 mopping system, Clorox Ready Mop. Simply squirt, and the special Clorox floor cleaner gets your whole floor sparkling clean. The kind of clean you expect from Clorox. No more buckets, no more filthy water. When you're done, just toss the pad, dirt and all. Works great on wood, too. Clorox Ready Mop, the extraordinary mop in a box from Clorox.
Every day for thousands of years, Old Faithful has been, well, faithful.
What causes it to stay so regular?
Stay regular with Metamucil Daily Fiber Therapy. It works with you, naturally. Get regular, stay regular, the natural way.
How much is enough? Now you can decide. Introducing Orville Redenbacher's single-serve mini bags. Big Orville taste in a new snacking size. Pick up some Orville Redenbachers and start popping today.
As events unfold overseas,
U.S. troops in Kuwait.
They affect us here at home.
This nation.
Comprehensive. Up to the minute. In-depth reporting. Experience the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
In the Shuttle Columbia investigation, NASA officials say they can't be certain, but an astronaut may have tried to override the shuttle's autopilot in hopes of saving the doomed spacecraft. Analysts base this on a tiny bit of data received just before Columbia broke up over Texas. At Arlington National Cemetery today, Navy Captain Laurel Clark, one of 7 hero astronauts killed in last month's disaster, was buried with full military honors. U.S. military commanders often call U.S. combat troops the best trained and best equipped in the world. But that training and equipment is not perfect. Soldiers can and do suffer needlessly when training hardware they're told is safe is not. CBS's Vince Gonzalez investigated training accidents and allegations of a cover-up for tonight's Eye on America.
Former Army Sergeant Robert Bejarano says he's lucky to be alive.
I couldn't even feel my face at all, this whole section of my face. Honestly, I thought my whole face got blown off.
Bejarano was injured while training soldiers when a combat simulator he was unloading went off. The devices, electronic boxes placed on tanks and ground targets, simulate the flash and bang of live fire.
We all knew they were unstable. It's like rolling the dice, you know. You're going to get hit sooner or later.
A CBS News investigation found since 1983, scores of soldiers have suffered serious injuries when simulators and the explosives they use, known as Hoffman rounds, went off when they weren't supposed to. Bejarano wasn't the only one in his unit to be injured.
This right here is Briceño. He was the first one that I witnessed that got blown up.
Shrapnel drilled a hole in Armando Briceño's head.
I was telling him he was all right, you know, he'll be just fine and stuff like that, but the whole time I was doubting myself. I was thinking to myself, this guy's not going to make it.
Briceño did make it, but a few months later, yet another of Bejarano's men at Fort Irwin was maimed. That soldier had to abandon his dream of becoming an Army recruiter.
Because I don't think they wanted people recruiting with a bunch of scars on their face and half of an ear.
Rich Potter lost most of his hearing in a simulator accident more than a decade ago.
It blew up and my ears have never been the same since.
The system was unplugged and supposedly safe.
They shouldn't use them anymore. They're not safe. Somebody else is going to get hurt. God forbid somebody's going to die. Sooner or later somebody will get killed.
Army Private Christopher Serta was killed in a training exercise at Fort Irwin. The official investigation didn't blame simulators, but accident reports and soldiers on the scene tell a different story.
All of the Hoffmans were going off right in that valley.
Simulators attached to targets began firing when they weren't supposed to, and a Bradley fighting vehicle shot back just as they're trained to.
Apparently he shot at a target, but missed the target. I guess the guys were right in the line of fire.
The military says soldiers are to blame for most of the accidents.
They swore up and down that those demolitions were stable, and we know that they were lying straight to their teeth.
You can tell it still makes you angry.
Oh, absolutely. I still get mad. I really get, I mean, because I've got 2 soldiers, you know, that are permanently scarred.
And CBS News has learned the Army has covered up the true cause of many of the accidents for 20 years. More on that tomorrow. In Los Angeles, I'm Vince Gonzalez for Eye on America.
Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, a potential lifesaver for people with peanut allergies. A new treatment that could prevent dangerous reactions.
Every time you scratch that itchy scalp, you're damaging it, and that's not healthy. Now get Maximum Strength Scalpicin to promote a healthier scalp. It stops the itch, stops the scratching. Not a shampoo, Maximum Strength Scalpicin is a clear, odorless liquid with the itch medicine doctors recommend. Plus, it contains scalp-nourishing aloe. Here's to a healthier scalp with Maximum Strength Scalpicin. Also, an original formula for milder itching.
Gotta go right now. Gotta go right now. Gotta go.
I have to go now. Sorry.
If you've always got to go, ask your doctor about Detrol LA. It's been proven effective for overactive bladder.
You need to go?
Not right now.
You shouldn't take it if you have stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems. The most common side effects are dry mouth, constipation, abdominal pain, and headache.
And I don't have to go right now.
Detrol LA. When you've always got to go.
If you have diabetes, You've probably handled thousands of test strips. But no more, thanks to the AccuCheck Compact Meter. Just drop in a drum containing 17 test strips. Press the button and you're ready. 17 consecutive tests and no handling strips. What could be clearer? The AccuCheck Compact Meter. Look for the one with the drum.
Do you know about the purple pill called Nexium?
I know.
I know. You should know about it too. Talk to your doctor about whether Nexium is right for you.
Find out about the purple pill called Nexium.
When your eyes feel dry, irritated, there's Refresh brand eye drops. First, Refresh relieves and soothes, then forms a lasting shield of protection to keep irritation out and moisture in. #1 doctor recommended Refresh relieves and protects.
Still doing those bills, hon?
Just wrestling with a credit card balance.
You've been feeding on those high interest rates.
I just switched our balance over to a Capital One no-hassle card. You're gonna save $500 a year.
$500?
Switch your high-interest balance to the Capital One no-hassle card for the nation's lowest long-term fixed rates. You could save up to $500 a year.
What's in your...
Coming up at 6, for the first time in years, the Tennessee state budget is going down, but at a cost. The governor will explain it to the legislature and the people at 6.
There is promising news tonight for the 1.5 million Americans who are allergic to peanuts. A new therapy may offer the first protection against potentially fatal reactions, which have been on the rise. CBS News medical correspondent Elizabeth Caledon is on the Health Watch.
For people suffering severe allergies to peanuts, this small vial could mean the difference between life and death. It's called TNX 901, a new therapy for peanut allergy sufferers. Results of clinical trials announced today indicate it's highly effective. Dr. Donald Leung tested the drug in 84 patients.
The best dose allowed patients to tolerate 9 peanuts at the end of the trial. On the average, they were only able to tolerate half a peanut at the beginning of the trial.
That may not seem like much, but eating peanuts accidentally is a leading cause of allergic reactions and even death. Being able to eat even a small number of peanuts without a negative response could make a crucial difference. Anya McMullen has lived in fear of peanuts since her first bad reaction at age 10.
When it happens to me, I get really scared and freaked out.
Shots of TNX 901 have taken the fear out of her life.
So I can be around with my friends, because a lot of kids like to have peanut butter and jelly.
There are drawbacks. Patients will require 1 shot a month for as long as they have the allergy, and the product still needs more testing before it's ready for market. But
I see this as a first step in treating a disease that has no therapy right now.
For now, it's the best shot we've got at addressing an allergy that gets more prevalent every year. Elizabeth Caledon, CBS News, New York.
And that's part of our world this Monday night. Dan Rather reporting. We invite you to join us again tomorrow for the CBS Evening News. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, go to cbsnews.com. AOL keyword CBS News. Showdown with Saddam. All the latest as crucial deadlines near. Tomorrow. Experience CBS News.
Straight ahead on News Channel 5 at 6, she's accused of bringing a gun to church to kill her former boyfriend. Now the threats continue at school. Tonight, the boy's family speaks out.
And recent heavy rains have forced dozens of residents from their home, but it's not because of floodwater. We'll explain. And you're looking at a live picture of the state capitol.
That's where Governor Bredesen is getting ready to talk to lawmakers and Tennesseans about our state's budget crisis. The news is now.
From your news and information leader. This is News Channel 5 at 6. Governor Bredesen's budget address.
Good evening. Governor Bredesen says it's one of the most important things he'll do this year.
He will unveil his budget plan to lawmakers and to Tennesseans. News Channel 5's Ben Hall is there. And Ben, his address is expected to get underway very soon now, right?
Governor Bredesen is right outside the House chamber here. He is going to be